beaders. So if you've been following me on Facebook or on Instagram, you'll know that I've been making these bracelets. I've really enjoyed making them. They are for beginners, so a beginner can quite easily do this bracelet. I'm just going to bring you in a little bit, so you can see how pretty these are. Look how pretty. So I did these in pinks, and these are cube beads, and I simply put a magnetic clasp, a plain magnetic clasp on this one with wire guardians. So there's the pink one. I also did a bicone one, so no matter what beads you've got, whether you've got bicones or cube beads, this will work. So I did it in blues, and just to give it a bit of extra glitz on this one and to show the difference in the clasps, I put a sparkly clasp on this one, and they're so easy to put on. They just go together. But if you do wear a pacemaker, or you're making for somebody who wears a pacemaker, then they shouldn't have magnetic clasps. It's something to do with it interferes with the pacemaker. So there's those two, and then I made another one and put a different clasp on. I put a large clasp on. I'm just going to widen you out a wee bit. With 11 OC beads and 15 OC beads. I will go through what we need in a moment, and these again are cube beads, and I just put it on a large fanciful toggle clasp just so you could see the difference. So you could use the clasp as decorative and wear it at the front, or if you prefer that side, that's fine, and that'll be on the inside. And as the day goes on and your wrist's doing all this, that and the other, it gives a really pretty big large piece to your bracelet. So you could either wear it like that, or you could wear it like that. So there you go. So this is what we're going to be making today. Again, it is for beginners, or if you are a seasoned beader, then you just want a simple thing to do in front of the TV, then this is what you need to do. So I'm just going to put those out of the way for the moment. Oh yeah, I just wanted to show you these that I've been making. I made this yesterday afternoon. I'll bring you in a little bit so you can see. So these are a 4mm pearl base with little silver seed beads in between, and little bicones, crystally bicones on the top. And I thought this is quite bridal, a nice simple bridal piece, don't you think? And I'm thinking of so they've got a matching bracelet. You could put 4 of these together and hang off a very pretty chain, or maybe some small 2mm pearl beads to go up the neckline. I think that's really pretty for a bride. Nice and simple, so it takes nothing away from the dress or her rings that she'll be wearing by the end of the day. I think that's really pretty. So if you'd like to see a tutorial on this, then please leave a comment, and I will teach you how to make it if you're interested. And then something else I've been making, because summer's on its way, a nice anklet. I'm just going to widen you out a little bit. Sorry if I'm annoying you by going in and out. And this is I can't teach this unfortunately. This is a pattern from beadsmagic.com, and it's a free pattern. You can just go on to Beads Magic, and you'll be able to find this anklet or bracelet, whichever you want to make it into. And you can extend this to go into 3 or 1. Normally I just do a 1 with a drop on for an anklet, but I just thought that was so pretty with the 2. So that's what I've been doing. So anyway, back to what we're going to be making today then. So I'll just bring this one in, just an example. And today I have chosen, I thought, I'd like to do something with a bit of bronzy coloured. So I've got a clasp, but you can use whatever clasp you like, but today I am going to be using a toggle clasp. You will need 2 wire guardians. Yours don't necessarily need to be goldy coloured, but it's going to be matching the colours that I'm making today. And you will need 2 5mm jump rings. Okay, onto the beads then that we're going to be using. These are cubes, but you can use bicones or whatever you have. But these are 4mm cubes, and you'll need, for a 7-inch bracelet, you'll need approximately 17. So we have those. You will need some 11/0 seed beads. Okay, so just going to move that out of the way. And today, to match my beautiful peridot coloured cubes, I am using a Toho branded bead, but you can use Miyuki, but they do need to all measure the same sort of size, so you do need either a Miyuki or a Toho type bead. And you'll need some 15 OC beads. Okay, and today, to match my clasp, I am using a bronzy coloured to match my clasp, and I think all those together go really nicely. And you'll be needing some thread. Okay, so today I am using KO thread, KO beading thread, because this is what I have. You can use fireline or 1G thread, but today, to match my greens, I am using a KO thread. But there's nothing wrong with using a fireline, a £6 fireline, either in crystal or in the smoke colour, obviously to go with what other beads that you choose to make. Tools today then, we will need a pair of jewellery pliers to open and close our jump rings. And we will be needing a pair of scissors, some nice sharp scissors, and we will be needing a needle, either a size 10 or 12 beading needle. Today I am using a size 12 because I want to make sure that I get through the little 15 or C beads without breaking the bead, because that would be tragic. So after all your hard work. So I will let you get your bits together and we'll be right back. Let's get beading. Right, so you've got all your bits together then. Let's just widen you out a little bit. Ooh. Okay, so your thread. You need about 2 arm spans. A span and a... Well, can't talk. Get your teeth in, Jane. Span and a half to 2 spans. Now I like to use 2 because I'd rather have too much than not enough. And when I say arm spans, what I mean is stretching your arms out to the side and taking your thread with you and taking it across your chest from fingertip to fingertip and giving yourself 2 arm spans, and then thread your needle. If you're using fireline or any thread really, it does help. Now I've got a knot in mine. Squashing the end down with a pair of jewellery pliers really does help you pass your thread onto your needle. So just squash the end down with your pliers like that, and then threading your needle. Okay, and then taking the end thread, the end of your thread, down and leaving about 12 inches on the other side to work with, otherwise we're going to be pulling thread forever and a day. Okay, so let's get the first bit done then. The first bit we're going to do is this bit, okay, and so we do a bit of our beading and we attach our wire guardian at the same time. So for this, onto our threaded needle we need to pick up a 15-0, an 11, a 15, an 11, a 15, an 11 and a 15. So we have 4 15s and 3 11-0s on our needle. We then pick up a cube or a bicone, whatever you're using, and then we're just going to repeat this pattern. So we're going to put on a 15-0, a seed bead, a 15, a seed, a 15, a seed and a 15. Okay, so this is what we have on our needle, making sure that we have 4 15-0s with 3 seed beads in between. Okay, bringing these beads down our thread, we then are going to put on our wire guardian. Now these wire guardians, you can see, have 2 openings and a little channel at the top. They're a bit like a horseshoe shape, and we need to make sure that our thread sits in the channel at the top of our wire guardian. And I'm just looking at my nails and I think I've painted my skin more than I've painted my nails, but that's the way it is. Hey ho. So popping through one side and down the other side of our wire guardian, bringing our thread through the wire guardian, making sure that we run our hands down the thread. And I've got a faulty wire guardian. The thread isn't sitting in the wire guardian. So before we go any further, we will back out. Sometimes on these things the sides aren't quite closed, so what I might do is just give a bit of a squeeze using my pliers just to ensure that these things are closed and the thread's not going to escape. If it doesn't work this time, then I will of course change the wire guardian. Just giving a bit of squeeze, gently, not hard, otherwise you won't get the needle through. Okay, let's try again then. So up one side, down the other, and I think I've cracked it. Otherwise it'd have been destined for the bin. Yay, I've cracked it. Okay, bringing the wire guardian down to our work. Now we're going to leave a bit of a tail, enough to get a needle on the end, and we will sew this in later. We need to go through these beads again. This reinforces the stitch and reinforces the wire onto the wire guardian for our clasp. So I know my hands are over my work at the moment, but you will see in a second. So we have this. Now we need to come back up through the beads, all the beads, making sure you don't miss any, and come back up through the wire guardian. Okay, now it's a little bit floppy at the minute, but as we pull our thread through and give a little tug, we will tighten up our work. So coming back down the other side of the wire guardian, back through all the seed beads, exiting by the cube, pull the thread slowly through our work. This warms up the thread and ensures we don't get any knots. Give a little pull, and we're just going to reinforce one last time because we want at least 3 passes. Now I've got a knotted on my thread up because I didn't get hold of it. If you get a jumble like this, just give your ends a bit of a tug, not too hard obviously, and it should sort itself out. Going back from our needle side then, through, again if it's building up, just use our fingers to loosen it off. Back up the seed beads, making sure you don't miss any out. Back up through our wire guardian. Holding our thread in our other hand. Pulling it through, moving our tail out the way, come back down the other side of our beads and our wire guardian, making sure you don't miss any out. If you have to go through your beads a couple, you don't get through them all in one go, that's not a problem. Making sure that our tail end is out of the way and not caught up, and that our thread is sitting in the channel of the wire guardian. Come through and out the other side of just the cube. Don't catch the 15-0 on the other side, so we just want to be coming through the cube, holding our work between our fingers. Okay, there we have our clasp, our ready for our clasp end, all done. Okay, and our tail end we will sew through later and tie off. Right, how do we move forward then? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You won't believe how simple this is. We're just going to repeat this pattern. So we just want to make sure that we have 4 15-0s with a seed bead in between. So 1 15-0 seed bead, 15-0 on our needle. Go through the cube and just repeat the pattern. 15-0 seed bead, 15-0 seed bead, 15-0 seed bead, ending with a 15-0. Okay, Coming back through then, our thread is exiting the cube. We need to pass our needle through the cube and just the cube, and drop your work because it always helps not. And pull through. This is like doing a right angle weave. Okay, and now we have 2 on, but we need to reinforce these stitches, guys, so come back through all your beads, back through the cube, and this strengthens the stitch, because remember, bracelets do sort of take quite a bit of a battering when we are wearing them. Back up through the seed beads, making sure we don't miss any, and also making sure that we don't catch any from the previous round. Pull our needle through, through the cube from the first round, holding our thread, letting the thread run through our fingers, and then back through the beads. If you can't get them all in one go, not a problem. And then back through the cube. Holding our thread, trying to make sure we don't get any knots, because they're a nightmare, but they're bound to happen, aren't they? And there you have a unit on. Okay, to take this forward, you guessed it, 1 seed bead, 115-0, a seed bead, a 15-0, a seed bead, a 15-0, a seed bead, ending with a 15-0. So always 4 15-0s with 3 seed beads in between, a cube, and then repeating the pattern again. 15-0, seed bead, 15-0, seed bead, 15-0, a seed bead, and a 15-0. Our thread is exiting the cube from the previous unit. Bring our needle round, and passing through the cube and just the cube. Okay, trying hard not to catch the 15-0 on the other side. And pulling our work through. And as always, we need to reinforce. Now, how I like to reinforce, I flip the work over because I like to work that way. Okay, it's just a lot easier. Passing our needle through all the beads, holding the thread to get it warm and stop it from knotting. pull your work a bit. Your tension, you do need a reasonable tension, but don't worry about it if this is your first go. Make one, learn from your mistakes. If your tension was low, slack to tighten it up a bit and make another one. All you can be wasting is thread. And just start again. Okay. Practice makes perfect. Going back through then, making sure I don't skip any beads, reinforcing, giving our thread a pull, going through the cube from the previous unit. Going through the beads. Don't worry if you can't get them all at once. This isn't a race. This is supposed to be relaxing. You're not supposed to be getting your hair off and calling your beads all the names under the sun and chucking your work through the nearest window. Believe you me, I have done that in the past. So passing our needle through the remaining beads. Little pull through the cube, and only the cube. Don't catch the 15-0 on the other side. Okay. Now I'm just thinking about this. You could do this in wedding colours as well. You could put a 4mm pearl, nice shiny pearl, and silver and white sea beads in between. That would look really cute as a wedding bracelet. Okay, so we're ready to move on to the next unit then. You've guessed it, sea bead, 15-0 sea bead, 15-0, if I can see them, sea bead, 15-0 sea bead. So we've got 3, and we know that we need to end up with 4 15-0s and 3 sea beads in between. We pick up a cube and just do that pattern again. So 15-0 sea bead, 15-0 sea bead that she misses, 15-0 sea bead, and ending with a 15-0. You've guessed it. What do we do now? That's correct. We go through the last cube of our previous round, or our unit, whatever you want to call them. Okay. I'm loving this peridot green colour. I hope the camera has shown it to be what it is. It's a beautiful peridot green colour. Anyway, I diverse. Pull our thread through. Now you can see, if you're a beginner, that I've got 2 lots of thread coming out. Oh no, what's gone on? Pull one of them and you'll find it's your tail thread. So you know now that you need to put your work down, run your hand up that thread for a little minute or 2, and pull our needle down a bit more, and that will give us, not catching on to stuff that you've got laying on your desk, that will give us some extra thread to work with. Okay, so we've gone through our cube. I like to turn my work around because I came out that way. I like to turn it over in my hand so I can work that way. If you're left-handed, you might find it works better the other way. So we'll try and get all these beads coming out next to the cube, pulling our work through, running our thread through our fingers, coming through the cube, again, running our thread, and the more you work with the thread, the warmer it gets and the less likely it is to curl up, because it does like to curl. You can also add some beeswax to your thread if you'd like to. Through our cube. Giving your work a little pull as you go. Managed to get all the seed beads that time. Pull our thread through. Finishing off by going through the cube. Give a little pull. And we're ready to add the next round, or the next unit, which way you'd like to call it. So 15O C bead, 15O C bead, 15O C bead, 15O C bead. No, that's right, Jane. Stop getting yourself carried away. 4 15s, 3 C beads, a cube, and then back at it. 15O C bead, 15O C bead, 15O C bead, ending with a 15. Our thread is exiting this side, so we just need to come round in a circle through the cube and the cube only. And pulling our thread through our beads, flipping our work over, because I like to work that way, going through the seed beads, making sure that we get them all, we don't miss any out, or else we'll have a funky bracelet. Pull our thread through, giving a little pull just to keep our tension nice, going through the cube. Now if this is the first bracelet that you're attempting, don't get frustrated. Excuse me, don't get frustrated if your work's a bit slack, because that's how you learn your tension. Just keep on going, use it as a practice piece, cut it up and do it again. You're not hurting anybody, you're not wasting your beads, all you're wasting is some thread. Let's face it, thread is cheaper than beads. Okay, so through the beads, and as you can see, it's a very repetitive stitch. Once you've learnt it, you can sit in front of your favourite TV programmes and make lots in lovely different colours to match all the outfits that you've got. You could even extend it and make it into an anklet, which is a cracking idea, ready for summer. You could make smaller units and make them into earrings to match. I haven't got through them all that time, guys, so just running the thread through. But I will be able to get through the cube at the same time. So going through the cube, running our fingers through with the thread. Okay, so we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units on. As I've said, to make a 7-inch bracelet, you'll probably need about 17 of your units. But do remember that your clasp will take up approximately an inch. So if you have a 6-inch wrist, make just alter your count. So measure it out. So in other words, if you'd got a 6-inch wrist, get your measure and stop at 5 inches. So and then you'd make your clasp on the end, which we will do later on in the video. It's just giving you a bit of a heads up on sizing. So you always want about an inch for your clasp. Okay guys, so I'll do one more unit with you and then you carry on your own to length. So a 15, a C bead, a 15, a C bead, not 2, a 15, a C bead, a 15, a cube, 15, a C bead, 15, a C bead, 15, a C bead, and ending with a 15. Our thread is exiting this side, so I'm just going to flip it over and going round in a circle, she says, and out the other side, making sure you miss your beads on the other side. Pop your needle through, pull your thread, turn your work over, because I like to work that way, going through all of your C beads, giving your thread a bit of a tug, going through the cube, don't be scared, going through all the beads, through the cube of our previous unit. When you can find the hole, it's there. I have managed to catch, I think, the 15 on the other side, but it's the right 15 because we've got to go through, so through the last two, we might be able to get through the cube at the same time, making sure we don't catch any beads the other side, pulling our thread through, giving your thread a bit of a pull, and there we have it. So you carry on guys to the length that you need. Just remember that you need an inch for your clasp. Right, and I will catch you in a little while once you've caught up. Not that you've caught up, but once you've gone to length. So you should be at this stage then now, where you're to the length that you need minus the inch for your clasp. So we are exiting out. We're on the final stretch then now guys. We are exiting out of our cube. So now we're just going to put on the other wire guardian, this end. So carrying on our pattern then of 15 seed, 15 seed, 15 seed, 15, we're going to go up our wire guardian and down the other side, bringing it down to our bracelet. Okay, so we're going to add a 15 seed, 15 seed, 15 seed, and a 15. And we're just going to come in round the other side of our cube, making sure that our thread is in the top of the wire guardian, which it is. Now we're going to strengthen our end by going through all the beads and up through the end of the wire guardian. Pull our work snug, turning around, going through the wire guardian, back all through the seed beads, making sure that the thread sits in the top of the channel, which it is. Pull our thread down, going back through the cube, and for the final time then, up the seed beads, making sure we don't miss any out. If you can't get them all in one go, don't worry, pull our thread through, going up through those few beads that we missed, up through the wire guardian, pulling our thread through, turning our work, going down the other side, getting through the beads, holding our work between our thumb and finger, making sure that the thread sits in the top of the channel, through the cube, and yay, there's the bracelet done. So all we need to do then now is tie off our thread, and you can see that we have got quite a bit of thread left. So if you wanted to start off, if you're one of these people that watch a video through before they start a project, then I would suggest starting with a arm span and a half, working our way down through the work, following our thread path, finger in the way, coming on to the next section, and I'm just going to come out of in between a 15 and a seed bead. Right, okay, so to tie off our thread, we need to catch the thread in between those beads, pull down a little loop, putting our needle through that loop, and gently pull that knot in between the beads. Move forward. Wow, can't even get my needle in. Move forward through the beads into the cube, coming down through a few beads, catching the thread between those beads, dropping your needle and not being able to pick it back up. Oh, I must have gone through the thread. Pull up a little loop, putting your needle in the loop and pulling the knot in between those beads and moving forward. Making sure you go through the cube and not through the seed beads on the other side. There we go. Going wow. Do you know, I can't get my needle in, I can't see. I've gone bead blind. Stop laughing at me. Going through a few beads eventually. Catching a thread in between the beads. Pulling up a loop, going through the loop, catching your bracelet on the other side and pull down in between. Now it's up to you how many knots you've put in. I'm going to go a couple more. So going through I've only just had these glasses and I do feel like some of the close work I can't see. Stop laughing at me. Oh gosh. Perseverance. There we are, see? Perseverance. Catching a thread. Making a small loop, passing the needle through the loop and pulling it down. Okay. Going forward, passing the needle through the cube, turning my work so I'm always working on the right side. Try to get through the seed beads, and after this one I'll call it quits. Picking up a thread in between the beads, bringing down a loop, putting your needle through the loop and pulling them gently down. Okay, so to finish then, never cut off where you've just tied a knot, going through a few beads. What have I done here? Oh yeah. Through it goes. Cut off my thread, and now I need to put my needle on the other side. So our tail thread of where we began, we need to thread our needle like so. My needle, remember it was straight, it's now nice and bent. I love bent needles. Hey ho, that's just the way I am. Okay, I am going to go through the wire guardian and down the other side, catching as many beads as I can. Making sure the thread goes through. Through the cube. Going to... God, can you hear the wind? We've had Storm Gareth here in the UK, haven't we? And I'm not kidding you, where we live in Cornwall, the wind has been absolutely atrocious. The waves have been massive, in other words. Okay, so going through and dropping it again, going through a couple of beads. Because I'm trying to hold the work away from me so you can see in the camera, but I'm not close enough for my eye. There we are. Through the loop, pull it down, going through the beads, and through the cube. Turn, up through a few beads, catching thread through the loop, pulling the loop down in between the beads, and as you go forward through the beads, it will take the knot with it and sit it in. In the bead. So coming through the cube, it's getting quite full now with thread. Turning my work, be able to do one more knot I think with the thread that I've got, going through making this look trickier than what it is, just because I can't get close enough. There we go. Going through a couple of beads. Should be able to get one more knot with the thread. Making sure the knot goes between the beads. Go through a couple of beads and cut off your thread. There we go. So on to the last bit now. Let's just move these out of the way. Where have I put my triangles? There we go. These triangular things are really good because you can scoop your beads up and then put them back in your tubes or back in your in the little baggies, whatever. Let's just put them out of the way for the second. Okay then, so now comes into play our tools. So we need 2 pairs of pliers. Okay, so we're going to pick up our jump ring. Always opening from north to south, never from east to west, or top to bottom, never from side to side. Through our bracelet, through the wire guardian, and onto our clasp. And then again, going from south to north, giving the jump ring a little wiggle, giving the join a squeeze, and we have one side of our clasp on. Now you can, now we've got the bracelet made, push the 2 ends of the wire guardian together, and then on the other side again, picking up our jump ring, finding where the opening is, opening from north to south, never from east to west, going through our wire guardian and adding on the other end of our clasp, whatever clasp you have chosen to put on your bracelet, bringing the 2 sides of the jump ring together, giving it a squeeze. I'm just going to close off my wire guardian a bit. Okay, and there you have your finished bracelet. Let's have a look, see what it, oh, I love this colour. Let me widen you out a bit. Wow, I'm loving the green. Let's just put it on. There we go. And again, that can act as a focal point on your bracelet, or you can have it like that. I love it. I love this. And you can make them in lots of different colours. So there you have it then, guys. I haven't got a name for this bracelet. It's just a simple little design. It hasn't got a name. If you want to name it, then leave me a comment. So there we have some nice bracelets already. And like I say, you can make it with bicones, you can make it with cubes. If you haven't got cubes but you've got rondelles or pearls, little 4mm pearls in the middle or whatever, then go for it. And each one will look different. If you made them with pearls, it would look beautiful with pearls. And you can have lots of different coloured bracelet with different pearls in the middle. So there you go then, guys. There's today's tutorial. I really sincerely hope that you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got friends that you think this little tutorial they might enjoy, or invite them to my channel, then please do go ahead. And I really appreciate any thumbs up that you can give me. It helps me to get seen on YouTube. And leave me a comment. I love it when you comment. If you need any help, please do comment, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. So there you are then. Maybe a road, rocky road, I don't know what to call it. So there you are. Go on and make lots and lots and lots and lots and lots, and I'll see you on the next video. Oh, I think the next video for me will be the bead box subscription, see what we've got, and see what we can make from it. I think that may be the next video from me. If you'd like to see how to make this, do drop me a comment, and I'd be happy to make a little video on how to make this. So yeah, till next time then, guys. Been great beading with you. Time for a brew. See you next time. Cheers. I'll see you them thumbs. Thumbs. About the screen. See you next time.